the visiting Houston Texans and the Buffalo Bills. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, from the home of the Bills since 1973, there's a look at New Era Field just outside of Buffalo, New York. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Houston Texans and the Buffalo Bills. Hello, everybody. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Godden. And, Charles, you take a look at the Bills entering play here. Now, losers their last time out, so they'll look to make amends here.
And one of the best ways you can do that is to be at home, and they are. They're going to try and ride that home crowd and that wave of emotion to a victory in this one.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Texans, it's late in the year. We all know it. We've seen the calendar for these guys. Their bodies could probably use a break, but they have to push on.
And they're really not. Not as worried about that as maybe we think. They know they've got the entire offseason to rest. All they care about is the game in front of them and finishing strong.
The holiday season is upon us. We've got the gift of the NFL as we're underway here in Week 16. To return, it's DeAndre Washington. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. So here come the Bills on offense for the first time. It's Josh Allen that'll be orchestrating the offense, a 6'5" quarterback from Wyoming.
Well, his ratio was good last week. Most quarterbacks are really excited about a 3-to-1 ratio, but it's flipped in the wrong direction. He threw 3 interceptions, not touchdown passes, and he only had the 1 TD pass in that game. So he's trying to turn that around and find a way for his team to win.
Now the first carry for LaShawn McCoy. And they're able to get this one across the 35. Give him 13 yards on the opening play of the drive and also give him a first down.
And there we see an early burst that makes him one of the leading rushers in the league.
Well, I want you to know, I listened to you yesterday when we were watching film. You said write down the word vision for him. It was on display there, wasn't it?
It certainly was, because he allows the blocks to set up in front of him. And if that continues, it could be a long afternoon for those guys trying to play some defense.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. And they'll keep on the ground with McCoy. And a good swarm to the football defensively as they get him down at about the 40. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
To throw, it's Allen, and his throw is incomplete. Brandon Coleman was the intended target, and now it's 3rd down.
Had an open man that time, but ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely, just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. So the failure to connect on 2nd down, that leaves him staring up here at a 3rd and 8. Throwing now is Allen, and he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning. Hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down. Watson will bring up the Texans here, 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. Now a first carry for Lamar Miller. Fights forward for only about a yard up to the 21.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
On second down, here's Miller. Looking for a cutback lane, but nothing there as he's met at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, so that doesn't help. Now they're looking up at a 3rd and 9 situation.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
Hey, back 22! Back 22!
Throwing on 3rd down, Watson. And he finds Jason Morrow. And they'll get it all the way up about 5 yards shy of midfield. That one goes for 24 yards.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. That's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. That'll go as a loss of 5, and it'll make this a 2nd and long.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
Now it's Miller, and he takes it past the 45 and down at the 46. Call it a gain of 5 that time. They'll be left with a 3rd down and about 9 to go.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
To throw is Watson on 3rd down. And over the middle here, Amaro. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. They get 7 there, but it brings up 4th.
He wasn't the primary target, but I think it was almost like a check-down situation, wasn't it?
Yeah, hoping he can break some tackles, a big tight end, but he couldn't do it.
Yeah, get it to that big frame and hope he can scatter some bodies, unable to get it done.
They punted 3 times in the loss last week as he sends this one away. And not what he was hoping for there, as this will hit in the end zone for a touchback. And now out come the Bills. You know, in our research packet this week, prepping for the game, so many articles from the local beat writer about the offensive struggles of this team and what will they do this offseason. What do you think they'll do?
Well, number one, they'll turn to their self-scouting report. And every team that's any good does this. They have outside groups. Check out their team, scout them, and tell you who can play, who can't play, and reasons why. Some of it may just be health. They have to get some guys healthy and back out on the field. But overall, evaluate this squad and make the changes that you need to.
Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
Seeing that play and understand just how tough it is to cover tight ends, especially the ones running around the NFL nowadays, makes me glad I didn't make it in that league. I would have had a really difficult time.
But now you get to sit up here with me.
Yeah, and that's fun, isn't it? And what a really nice game right there on first down for them. Brings up a nice second down for them.
Up at the 29 now, they'll head to the line, 2nd and a yard.
All right, here we go.
Play action. Now it's Allen. It's complete to his tight end, Charles Clay. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. That one goes for 24 yards.
There are so many things to watch for when you play defense. And reading your keys, you always hear about that, and having your eyes in the right place. Sometimes your eyes can fool you. How about that play action there? That sprang the big guy, didn't it?
Able to dump it over the top to him. Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down.
Set. 3-19.
Now a first down carry here for McCoy. And he goes across midfield and down into Houston territory. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
So they fake the handoff. Now Allen. He's going to air one out. Oh, man, it's caught inside the 10. And he takes it down deep into enemy territory. A big play here for the Bills. 41 yards.
We saw him hit a big play there on a deep post. And most of the time, the post isn't available because usually you have defenders in the middle of the field. But if you throw enough curls and crossing routes and underneath routes, I know from experience, they get tired of watching those balls get caught. They start to creep up a little bit, and that's when you can hit them big over the top.
Now McCoy. And he'll get this one back to the 5-yard line, but no further than that. No gain on the play that time, and it sets up 2nd and goal.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
The line of scrimmage, once again, the 5 as they get ready for 2nd and goal.
Green 39.
They'll give it to him up the middle. And he's going to get him about 3 yards closer. He's down to about the 2. 2 straight shots on the ground. Now on 3rd, do you go to the air?
I think the possibility exists, and if you're doing it, you're probably going play action since you ran it twice. But I often think that 2nd down is the time you go play action and throw the ball. I say commit to the run and think about it being 4-down territory.
This defense hasn't let them in yet. They'll need to stiffen here. 3rd and goal from the 2. Allen now looks to throw. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Picked off by Andre Howe. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. He had a little bit of the turnover bug last week. 3 interceptions. Not an absolute disaster, but another one here. Do you start to get a little worried?
You worry about your team as a whole because you have to find a way to make those interceptions, quote-unquote, go away, and that means your defense. They've got to go out there on sudden change and at least hold people to field goals. And if that keeps happening, they lose confidence in the quarterback, and then no one plays well.
They'll start out on the ground. It's Lamar Miller. And now where are they going to mark him here? Well, they say he did get back to the 1-yard line, but that could have... With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, and it's Texans football as we get going in quarter number 2. They've got it 2nd and 10 to start things out. From the end zone, Watson. Incomplete.
The effort's always going to be there. Everyone's always going to try and make a catch, but underthrown balls, I think, are the toughest ones to come back and get because usually your momentum's going in the opposite direction when you're trying to stop, break, and come back and get it.
From his end zone, Watson on 3rd and long. Going deep for Hopkins. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down. Seems like this defense, especially the secondary, has really been contesting about every throw in this first half.
Remind me of a good half-court defensive basketball team. Every time a pass is thrown, they're right there in good defensive position, able to affect the play.
This is fielded at the 27. They'll call that a punt at 59 yards. Tough to do better than that. And the Bills will take over the football with a 1st and 10. Charles Clay and the offense heading back out there now. Well, he's within shouting distance of a 1,000-yard season. Going to need a pretty good finish, though, if he wants to reach that mark.
Well, I like how you phrased it, partner. He is within shouting distance. If he stays on this pace, he's got a shot at it. But he needs a big game in there, right, to make sure that he gets it. So you know that during the week, in practice, and look, he asks for the ball all the time anyway. He's really going to ask for the ball and let his quarterback know he's open.
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. Throw left side complete. It's Grant. And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
He decided to run a hitch route. It really helped to have a guy who can turn it loose. And, boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1.
Here we go. Green,
To the
39.
air, Allen.
Green 39.
He'll buy some time right. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. Maybe not exactly what they had in mind, but that scramble good for 6 and a first down. The last drive, remember, similar situation. He forced the ball in the coverage through the pick. He learned better there.
Yeah, similar to a golfer that's confronted with a shot that you just can't make. Sometimes you have to take your medicine, as they say, right? Just pull it down, take off, and go. Don't make something worse than what it was.
Here's Allen, and the ball is knocked out. And the Texans say they have it. They do.
The psychology of the game never ceases to amaze me because you would think there would never be a fumble from what we hear from coaches all the time, right?
And how much they practice not fumbling.
Practice it, preach it, talk about it all the time. You would think no one would ever turn it over. Yet they are humans out there running around, and we just saw another one.
Opportunistic by the defense. And here comes the Texans now. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on third down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a first down and change our momentum?
They begin with a run by Miller. And he'll get it down to the 47 here. That one good for 10 yards. And it'll be second and very short.
On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before, they always told his runners, run around the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game.
Watson going to give this one to Miller. And this time he's able to take it down to the 42. And 5 yards on the play there as the drive will continue.
Second and inches is oftentimes an invitation for an offense coordinator to take a big shot downfield because he feels like he can come back on third down and pick up the first down. But sometimes you just don't want to break tendency. Stay with what you are, stay with who you know, and go get the first down. That's exactly what they did.
First down carry now for Miller. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat. And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. And the pitch goes to Miller. And he got blown up. Losing yardage on the play back at the 44. It's a loss of 2, now third down.
Perfectly designed blitz right there. They took that one from the grease board to the field because they were able to free up their linebacker to get into the backfield and spill the play.
The Texans on third down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This is third down and 12. A shotgun snap for Watson. And this is going to be caught. He won the fight for the football. He's up over 50 yards receiving now in this first half. It's a first down.
When this offense can get their tight ends involved, they can move the football. Here, a nice route, able to look it in, and picks up the first down.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Tenth carry now for Lamar Miller. And he'll get it down inside the 20 to the 18-yard line. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Foreman. And they'll lose yardage here. Knocked back to the 19-yard line. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up third down.
Yeah, that was a safety that came through and made the play. But there's no doubt in my mind, he hits like a linebacker. And we see a lot of that in today's NFL, don't we?
And that time we do indeed. A big hit for a loss. The Texans on third down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 4.
Down. Green.
They'll run it here. This is Deontay Foreman shedding through the defense. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. Remain in a scoreless first half. Back to Buffalo after this. And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
Sorry, we get slap happy up here sometimes. That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be 2nd down.
Shaq Lawson's one of those guys that after a while you quit just trying to define him by a position. Defensive end, outside linebacker, doesn't matter. He knows how to get upfield and spill some plays.
So disruptive. What makes him so disruptive?
I think it's strength. If you see his upper body, I mean, he's got some strength up there and some really good hands, but he's got some surprising quickness as well to get him upfield.
Green. Green.
Delay of game, offense.
And that'll be accepted, of course, and that moves him back 5.
Still 2nd down.
Can't afford another delay here as they come up again on 2nd and goal. And they'll give Miller another crack. And they'll get him down right around the 16. Only a yard there, and that'll bring us to 3rd and goal.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. And what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
This has been a long drive. You got to figure a field goal would be a letdown. Can they convert now on 3rd and goal?
Green. Reset.
Watson hands this to Foreman. And now the Bills are going to stop it as they call a timeout. As they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. Kaimi Fairbairn now to attempt the Texan field goal. This a 33-yard attempt. Fairbairn able to put this one through. And it's now 3-0 Texans. Well, the drive ends in just 3, but they'll take it. Looks like they'll head to the locker room, barring something unfortunate, in front on the scoreboard.
Yeah, they may not be jumping up and down and celebrating because they have the lead, but still, any little momentum in a game like this is important to a team, and they'll feel real good about going in and regrouping, knowing that they are out in front.
That's fielded in the end zone. And the decision to bring it out will cost him about 5 yards as he'll get this only back to the 20. The Bills offense now, they get set to head back on the field. And the ball backed way up, so thinking with this amount of time on the clock, probably just sit on it, and we'll see these two teams go to the lockers.
Yeah, I don't think you want to overthink it in this situation. Either side of the ball. Just go ahead and finish up the half and get on out and talk about it.
And just 25 seconds to go in the half now as they've got it 1st and 10.
Hurry up, here we go. Green, 39.
Now flags will come in.
39.
One of the Bills got going a little early.
False start, offense.
That's going to set him back 5 yards. The false start backs him up 5, 1st and 15. After the penalty, it's McCoy. And not much there at all. He's up only to about the 16-yard line. J.J. Watt, the one that gets him down. So we've hit halftime. Just a field goal separating these two teams at the break. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. The weather might be cold, but the playoff races are heating up here on this final Sunday before Christmas. So let's get to it.
And okay, so much for our halftime break. Apparently we're going to get right back to it. These offenses seemingly still back at the hotel for the first half. 3-0 our score as the second half gets underway. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Heading out is the Texans offense as they get set to take over here. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the third quarter.
I like the way you term that, because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their playbook. They like what they did in the first half. That worked okay. But in order to get the separation that you just talked about, change things up a little bit. Change your tendencies. Try and hit them a little bit more with some things they didn't see in the first half.
We'll see if they do just that. Nice way to start the drive. A gain of 12 and a first down.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
They keep it with Miller on first down. And he takes this up right near the 45-yard line. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on second and short.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. Miller will get it. He has been busy today. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a third down.
We all have habits. We can be somewhat predictable, and you know me pretty well on second down and short. What I like to say?
Play action.
Yeah, without a doubt. I thought that was a great spot to call it. Instead, didn't go their way, did it?
Now, defense sold out for the run. Worked out well. And he'll push his way up to about the 44 here. Just a yard on the run there, and that's going to bring us to a fourth down.
But this was just simply excellent defense. On this third down, they had to be alert for the possibility of a pass, but that didn't stop them at all from understanding what was going on when they decided to run the football, and they just swarmed and stopped them for almost no gain.
He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. So here's the Bills offense now. They get ready for their first possession of the second half. They were able to get the stop defensively, and now a chance to turn that into points on the offensive end.
Can you imagine what the grease board looks like at the half? Because
no, tell me.
That's exactly what they printed up. Stop them on defense, get the ball back for our offense, and go downfield and score some points. Now, the last part remains to be seen, but they got the first part done very well.
Do people use grease boards, or you mean the magic marker board?
Yeah, those two.
So that last play gives them a little more space now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 16-yard line. Here's Allen on 1st and 10. And incomplete. Crisis averted. Almost picked. Instead, second down.
Oh, man, that was close. The opportunity to change momentum, big play, right in his hands, unable to come down with it.
A sigh of relief, no doubt, on offense that fell harmlessly to the ground. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. And here's Allen throwing again. And he'll check this one down to McCoy. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. 15 yards that time, and a Buffalo first.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10.
All right, here we go.
On 1st down, Allen. It's caught. Humphreys. Another big gainer that time. This one goes for 19 yards.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
All right, here we go.
From midfield, here's Allen. He's got his man. It's Brandon Coleman. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another first.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
Set. Blue 90. Blue 90.
First down, and they're going to throw with Allen. And throw right side complete to Parker. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion.
Brandon, they didn't get everything they wanted out of that play, but the tight end did. And I don't mean it in a positive way. Great job of him holding on after absorbing that big hit.
Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards.
Set. 319.
On play action, Allen. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Chalk that up as their first sack in this game, and they tallied 4 a week ago.
And probably not as much exultation in that sack as what took us so long. Because when you get 4 the previous week, you're counting on continuing that momentum. They didn't get that done in the first half of the game. Let's see now if they start to bring even more exotic pressure towards the quarterback.
Set. 319.
Allen from the gun on 3rd down. Going to drop this off to McCoy, complete. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. The Bills passing game getting them down the field. They've got another first down.
We always talk about having to read defenses and how complicated that is. Well, this was an excellent read. Read the pressure and got rid of the football before it even got to him for a nice game.
And when they're blitzing like that, running back usually a good spot to go with a football?
Without a doubt, because he's right in your sight line or he's near you. So you're able to just get it to him easily. And once he gets in space, that's usually a good matchup for him.
This quarterback now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. Inside the red zone here. They'll look to throw. And his throw is going to be incomplete. His tight end Clay, the intended receiver. That'll bring up 2nd down.
We've seen good cover skills on display throughout this game, really from both teams. And there's another nice example there of them making it difficult to complete a pass.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Allen to throw again. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down.
Well, that's what you're looking for when you're wanting to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create catches.
The Bills on 3rd down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This will be 3rd and 5.
All right, here we go.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And they get to him quickly here as he stopped right around the 13. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it's going to leave him with a 4th down.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
Now Gostkowski will come on to try a field goal. And Gostkowski's kick is good. And the Bills are going to tie the game at 3. So they come away from this opening drive of the third quarter with only 3, but it does draw them even.
Yeah, that has to be job one, doesn't it? A touchdown definitely would have been nice. We know that. But here, you get back on even terms, and now you got most of the second half to try and get yourself into a position to win.
So all square here in this third quarter as the kick's away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And now out comes Houston. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
And able to stay on his feet past the 30 to about the 33-yard line.
First play of the drive, let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking, but the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
Here's a 2nd and 2 now from the 33. Again, it's Miller. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. All even as we get ready to start the fourth. The Texans on third down. 3 for 7 so far in this game. This is 3rd and 7. Now a 20th carry of the game for Lamar Miller. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. 10 yards there, good enough for a Texan first down.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I can just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, well, you're eager. You come running up there, I'm going to tackle this guy. By the fourth quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down fourth quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently. It's a linebacker, Manti Te'o, on the stop.
Looks like they're establishing a pretty good pattern here because they've been very heavy in the running game on the last 4 plays.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. So far, 4 plays in this drive, all 4 on the ground. Watson hands to Miller on the draw. And he'll be corralled out across midfield down to the 45. A pickup of 11 and a Texans first down. What makes a draw play like that successful?
Well, we did see where he made the first wave miss, and that was a big part of it. But a lot of it is just being actors back there, making the defense think it's going to be a pass.
All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. They'll run with Foreman, and he's going to be met at about the 43. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority 1.
Here's a give to Miller, and he'll be brought down at about the 42. Only a gain of a couple there. That leaves them needing about 7 here on third down.
Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things, but the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blow. Sometimes they dish them out themselves.
And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or 2 shy of the 30. 10 yards there, good enough for a Texan first down.
Well, partner, what do you think? Might have been 4-down territory if they didn't pick it up, but...
Yeah, it's a moot point now. I was curious, though, if they didn't get it there, would they have gone for it? I guess we'll never know.
Yeah, we didn't have to make that call, but I have a feeling both of us would have said, go for it.
They'll toss it to Miller. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field.
Illegal block in the back. Offense.
So this will be accepted as it moves the offense backwards. After the penalty, it's Miller. And they went the wrong way there. Losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
That goes down as a loss against his rushing stats. But really, should he have to absorb that one? He had no chance on that play before they overwhelmed him.
Pretty much on top of him before he could take his first step. And he'll be brought down at about the 42. And they only get a yard back there. They'll be left with a 3rd down and long. Possibly a turning point. Big play coming. This is 3rd and long. Watson now to throw. And he will go down outside of the pocket for a sack. Tried to get away but could not. That's their first time getting to the quarterback, sack number 1. And, you know, they had 5 last week, I'm remembering.
And you have to find a way to slow down the pass rush, not necessarily with just protecting your quarterback, but you show them a lot of different looks, and they did that in the first half. You know, different angles, different things to slow down the speed. They got to him here in the second half. Now they've got to come up with a counter to that and maybe do something different.
And here come the Bills. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point
kicker.
Exactly. You put it through the post. That's going to help him in contract time. But that offense, they're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know if that helped him in contract time. You could have kicked that one through.
I don't know about that.
Toe bash.
I don't know about that. Super toe.
Line of scrimmage, the 28 now as they come up on 2nd and a couple.
Hurry up, here we go. Blue 90. Blue 90.
On 2nd down, it's McCoy. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
So it's Bills football here as we get you reset. And they're facing a big 3rd down now in this tie ball game.
All right, here we go.
From the gun, it's Allen. He finds Humphreys. He's at the 50. He's at the 40. Past the 20. And all the way home for a Bills touchdown. Adam Humphreys, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Bills are in for 6.
And that score deserves our respect, deserves our excitement. But I'm looking at the clock, and I'm thinking, there's a long way to go in this one.
Ideally, they would have liked to milk a little bit more time off. Now on the other sideline, you start to get the crew together and say, this is what we practiced the 2-minute drill for, right?
Yeah, you hope you've been in that situation before, and if you haven't, you just have the confidence, hey, let's go down there and get this thing done. But, boy, that's a big score right there to give them the advantage.
Important extra point up and through, and the lead is now 10-3. This is taken at his 4. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line just across the 25. And now out comes Houston. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
And he takes us up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. Solid way to start the drive. 13 yards, picking up the first.
That gets them the first down, but they've still got to move quickly here.
Black 22. Black.
He's back to throw. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. It's an 8-yard pickup, and it'll be a 2nd down.
It drives some people crazy to see those short throws underneath. They've got to find a way to gash the defense downfield.
Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. back to throw. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And he'll get it out to midfield. Looks like, yeah, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50. 2 yards on the pickup there, but it's enough to give him a new set of downs.
Okay, there's 3 timeouts left, right?
I think you got to use one here, don't you?
No doubt about it. I'd use one right here.
The drive continues as they search for a tying touchdown. Here's 1st and 10. He'll look to throw, and he can't hang on to it. That would have sealed him. Instead, 2nd down. So he's unable to complete it there, and just not the game that you would expect from him. He's been off the mark, really, start to finish.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what exactly is going on. Is he a little bit dinged up here? Or is he just off just by a bit? Maybe he can get it back in this situation. He'll need to.
Eluding the pressure right. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game.
Brandon, that's just football 101. If you're out of the pocket, you've got to get rid of the football in this situation. You cannot take a sack in a 2-minute drill.
So they'll quickly now signal for the timeout. And it's definitely not looking good, but at least they'll have one final play to hope for that miracle and get him in the end zone. Gonna need something special here on 3rd and long. After that sack, what does Watson have in his arsenal? One last throw here for Watson. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40. They set the goal beginning of the year, hey, let's win 7 games. Unfortunately, with this loss, they can't do it.
So now it'll be interesting to see how they respond as a team, because sometimes when you set goals, if you don't achieve them, you don't care anymore. You let everything else go. I want to see if they're going to continue to fight, scratch, claw, do whatever to try and get as many wins as possible, even if it doesn't reach their stated number.